Channel 3, where the news comes first.
Thanks for joining us on News Channel 3 Midday. I'm Stacy Sakai.
And I'm Joe Butita. We're following the very latest out of Lompoc this afternoon, where an officer-involved shooting happened this morning. That shooting occurring on the 1100 block of North H Street. Police opening fire on a suspect. No officers were injured. News Channel 3 reporter Amanda Valdez live at the scene. And Amanda, what do we know about today's shooting?
That's right, Joey and Stacy. As you can see behind me here, this is still a very active scene where Lompoc police say they shot a man earlier this morning that was holding a knife. If I take just a step here to the side, you're able to see it a little bit clearer. Now, right now, Lompoc police and the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department, they're here conducting their investigation. Now, for people familiar with this area, this is along H Street, right by Embassy Suites. Lompoc police say around 8 o'clock this morning, they received a call about a man possibly threatening people, and that's when they arrived on scene and found a white man by the Jet Action laundromat just across the street from the scene here. Now, police say they confronted the man who was holding a knife and he ran away northbound into a ditch nearby this area here. Police say they went searching for him, and that's when they found him holding and wielding a knife. Now, police say then they shot him. Police say he was transported to Lompoc Valley Medical. The officers involved here were taken back to the station for questioning. They say they don't know how many times the man was shot.
Officers tried to get him to put the knife down. He fled, running northbound through the parking lot to the ditch. Officers gave chase, and at one point the subject, they lost sight of him. He was hiding in the ditch area directly behind me, and as officers began to search the area for the suspect, he reappeared wielding the knife and was ultimately shot.
Now, again, this still remains a very active scene here. Police telling me they'll be here for a while here along H Street. Right now, the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department conducting their investigation. For now, we're live in Lompoc. I'm Amanda Valdez, News Channel 3.
All right, thanks very much, Amanda. It was a dangerous weekend for police after 4 separate shootings in 3 different states. Today, a manhunt underway in San Antonio after the officer in that incident died. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the latest.
4 officers in 4 cities ambushed, one of them murdered just outside police headquarters.
I've got an officer down in front of headquarters.
Detective Benjamin Marconi, a 20-year veteran of the San Antonio Police Department, was in his patrol car writing a traffic ticket when police say this car pulled up behind him. Then a man got out and shot the detective twice in the head through the passenger side window.
We've been able to develop a suspect from this video surveillance. Suspect is described as a black male in his 20s, thin build, 5'8" to 5'10", with a goatee.
The suspected killer is still out there. Meanwhile, in St. Louis, another officer, a father of 3, is in critical but stable condition after he was shot twice in the face, also while sitting in his patrol car.
The officer says he saw the muzzle flashes and felt the glass breaking in his window as the shots came through and struck him in the head.
The alleged shooter in this case was later killed in a shootout with police. And this morning, 2 more shootings over the weekend in Florida and another in Missouri have 2 more officers recovering, both shot during traffic stops. And in the wake of these shootings, we are told in San Antonio and in St. Louis, officers will now be working in pairs until further notice. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
And a Union Pacific train has hit a vehicle on the tracks. It happened yesterday evening in Ventura near the Ventura County Fairgrounds. Officials say that vehicle ended up wedged between the front of the train and those tracks. The driver of the vehicle, Arcelia Delgadillo, and a male passenger were found standing nearby. Apparently, Delgadillo unintentionally drove onto the train tracks and her vehicle became stuck. She was then arrested and booked on DUI. None of the 60 passengers on that train were hurt. The First Alert Weather Center working overtime this weekend. We had a nice storm move through on Sunday, but is there any more moisture out there? First Alert meteorologist Meredith Garfalo tracking the forecast. Hey, Meredith.
Hey, Joey, we got some good rain across the Central Coast, more than an inch in Morro Bay. The Central Coast was one of the spots we saw the most rain with this weekend storm. Santa Maria picked up almost 3/4 of an inch. Silver Strand Beach down in Ventura County, just under that. And Santa Barbara, just over a ½ an inch of rain. So that's not bad. We'll take what we can get in this drought. As far as any more today, those chances have dropped significantly. We have lots of clouds in the center part of the state, but aside from that, it's going to be a very quiet day ahead and a cool day ahead. We've got 50s and 60s. Find out if it warms up any more in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Meredith. Well, a drowsy driver flipped their car this morning in Santa Barbara. That rollover accident happening on Carrillo Street near Miramonte Drive. Santa Barbara city fire officials say the woman behind the wheel fell asleep. The silver SUV on its roof when our cameras arrived. The driver didn't suffer any injuries. And 4 people had to be rescued from a rushing river in Los Angeles this morning. About 100 firefighters helping out in that effort. A fire department spokesperson said 4 adults were stranded on an island in the Atwater Village neighborhood. Rescue crews eventually secured them in a boat and took them to safety. They were taken to local hospitals to be treated for exposure to the cold and wet conditions.
The president-elect is off to a busy start this week after a jam-packed weekend of meetings. Donald Trump and his transition team interviewing more cabinet contenders. We're going to take a live look inside Trump Tower, who you never know is going to be walking into those golden elevators. There are more questions, though, about Trump's business and conflicts of interest with his new job. ABC's Lana Zach is in Washington with more.
The parade of possible administration candidates continues today with former Texas Governor Rick Perry, believed to be a possible contender for Energy Secretary. Over the weekend, President-elect Donald Trump met with more than 20 people, including Mitt Romney, among the former critics that are now possible contenders for a cabinet position.
We had a far-reaching conversation.
And more announcements may come today. A frontrunner for Defense Secretary General James Mattis. Mr. Trump tweeting he was very impressive.
Mattis has been critical of defense cuts, of announcing drawdowns in Afghanistan in advance, of the U.S. detention policy, and our approach to fighting radical jihadists. But women in the military, George, may have concerns about where he stands on the issue of women in combat.
The president-elect also met with real estate developers from India, raising questions about how he will separate out his business interests from his new government responsibilities to avoid a conflict of interest.
Donald Trump's going to have a real problem here. He criticized Hillary Clinton for her foundation getting contributions from foreign companies. In this case, it would be a question of somebody trying to do business to try to get some sort of special favors from the government.
A spokeswoman for the Trump Organization told the New York Times that the meeting with Indian business partners was short and congratulatory. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
2017 could be a royal year for Donald Trump. The British government says it is considering inviting the new president-elect for a state visit next year. State visits typically involve a meeting with Queen Elizabeth. People magazine reporting the Queen has met with every single American president since she assumed the throne in 1952, besides Lyndon B. Johnson. Pope Francis has given Catholic priests the power to forgive abortion. In an open letter, he is reaffirming the belief that abortion is a grave sin, but continues the running theme of his papacy, mercy. Pope Francis announcing last year that priests around the world would be authorized to give the sin of abortion for the duration of the Church's year of mercy. Now, he's extending that power forever. Pope Francis says there is no sin that God's mercy cannot reach.
Hundreds of workers at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago threatening to go on strike during Thanksgiving week. Airport employees, including baggage handlers, cabin cleaners, wheelchair attendants, and janitors, have been fighting for a wage increase and union rights. The Chicago Department of Aviation responding to the strike saying, quote, "We do not anticipate any disruption this week," end quote. AAA is predicting this Thanksgiving travel season to be a busy one, the biggest in 10 years. It's not yet clear how much this could affect operations at O'Hare, although the airport says they don't expect any delays. And if you plan on driving to your Thanksgiving destination, here's some good news. The average price of a regular gallon of gas has fallen 6 cents nationally over the last 2 weeks. An industry analyst from Camarillo says that it could continue to go down if oil-producing nations don't reduce their production.
Volunteers served up turkey, stuffing, and all the fixings in Nipomo yesterday. The Paul Teixeira Community Thanksgiving has brought hundreds of residents to St. Joseph's Church to celebrate the holiday together. The event is named after the late San Luis Obispo County supervisor and was free. Service clubs, youth organizations, schools, and local businesses combining forces to serve those meals.
It's very special that we have a community like this where we're all willing to just chip in and be together and spend time together, and that's how we roll here. That's what we are, Nipomo.
Chefs cooked more than 50 turkeys and more than 100 volunteers helped out.
A lot of turkeys. All right, last night, a huge night in music. All the big names were there.
The American Music Awards taking over Los Angeles, and there were some amazing performances and a little controversy. We'll relive the AMAs when midday returns.
And taking a look at your forecast today, it's a chilly start. Details coming up next.
Back now at the American Music Awards, a big night of performances, including Maroon 5 and Kendrick Lamar. The AMAs is the world's biggest fan-voted award show. And if you missed anything, here's ABC's Laura Spencer.
Bruno Mars kicked off the AMAs with his 24-karat Magic. While the Biebs begged the crowd to let me love you. Don't give up. I won't give up. Let me love you. And fans happily obliging his request. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Sting, on hand to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award, delighted young and old alike with a medley of career-spanning hits. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets my message in the bottle. Selena Gomez accepting the award for favorite pop rock female artist her first public appearance since taking a break from the spotlight last August.
If you are broken, you do not have to stay broken.
And Ariana Grande rocking the stage, taking home the biggest award of the night, Artist of the Year.
Just mesmerized by Ariana Grande there. The red carpet was red hot last night. Glitz, glam, lighting up an unusually rainy night in Los Angeles for the AMAs.
Well, honestly, my dress is really heavy, and it's a little wet on the bottom because the carpet was wet. But other than that, I feel good.
The big trend this year, sheer. Many people saying best dressed goes to Selena Gomez, who made her first red carpet appearance since rehab in a stunning red Prada dress. And host Gigi Hadid also getting major props, changing outfits 6 times. And I don't think we're going to make it to it, but the red number she wore on stage, loved it.
6
Heidi
times.
Klum.
We have to change sometimes in the
It's a lot
morning
of
to get ready.
Yeah, wow, 6 changes. You guys should try that in the morning show. See if you can make a couple of commercial break changes.
You know it's hard enough for me to
I know
put
it is.
one outfit together.
And with hiding my microphone packs, they'd
It would
be
be
tangled
tough.
around my
Yeah.
neck.
Yeah. Let's get to the forecast. We had a lot of rain on Sunday throughout the coverage area, and now we're looking at pretty nice.
Completely different
Yeah.
right now. If you look outside, you would not even known we had rain. Now there are some clouds you can see billowing up over the mountains, but overall it's a nice fall day for us. In fact, rain showers are pretty much gone everywhere. You can see there are some in the center part of the state, but as far as it goes in our viewing area, really not seeing too much at this half hour. And it's pretty crisp in some spots. Those temperatures are down in the 50s and even the 60s, and we haven't really warmed up much from this morning in many spots. Let's take a look right now at the wind speed. You can see it's a little gusty. Across the Central Coast, we're looking at wind speeds between 10 to 15, getting some gusts up around 20 miles per hour. That'll make it feel a little bit chillier for you. And speaking of a chill, we still have a winter weather advisory. That is in effect until 4 p.m. this afternoon, 3 to 8 inches, gusty winds, limited visibility. So it really is going to be a rough day on the 33 if you're traveling that way. The storm system is moving out, taking all the rain with it, and we're still getting some big swells, though. In fact, we have a high surf advisory until 6 p.m. tonight. This is what we're looking at as far as those wave heights. And for Ventura County, you're also going to still see some high surf and even notice the waves a little bit bigger on the Santa Barbara south coast. But this will subside as we get into today. Not the best day for surfers, though, because of those really gusty winds I was just talking about. So very, very dangerous out on the waters. Be careful, and for boaters as well. As we get into tonight around rush hour when you're heading home, maybe some clouds near Coyama on the valley, the 33, the 5, but overall clear skies in the forecast. Tonight they stay clear. That means temperatures will plummet overnight, and it will be a very cool start to your Tuesday morning. Things stay clear all of Tuesday as well. And then as we get into Wednesday, we might wake up to some light showers in San Luis Obispo County, even parts of the Central Coast, but that moves through pretty quickly. In fact, it's looking like the South Coast, Ventura County, really don't have much of a chance right now for rain. Of course, we're still a few days out, so that could change. But those clear skies even linger for us as we get into Thanksgiving Day. So if we do see any rain, it's looking like it would be for the Central Coast, and that would happen for us on Wednesday. Turkey Day is looking pretty nice for us, 70 in Santa Barbara. And you like that turkey, Joey? We've got the forecast for the weekend ahead. If your family or friends are staying in town for Black Friday shopping, we're going to see low 70s and then upper 60s. So some cool air moves in and sticks with us. And I also want to point out those overnight lows because the valleys will be back into the 30s. Even places like Lompoc might see 30s as we get into the end of this week. And for Ventura, Oxnard, even Channel Islands Harbor, I know there's a lot of fun events this weekend. You want to bring your jacket and bundle up, especially in the morning. And if you are planning on sitting outdoors for Black Friday shopping, you need your winter weather gear. It is going to be chilly, maybe windy in some spots, and you don't want to be sitting out there overnight and catching a cold.
Pay attention, because she told me I'd be driving in rain all day yesterday, and I was.
Got one right.
She knows what she's talking about. Still to come, Americans are eating more seafood, but could do better.
And where's the most nutritious food in the supermarket? We got those stories and more in today's Wellness Report.
Days filled with meetings. I mean, these days are overscheduled with meetings. We have people flying in from all over the country, meeting with him to give their advice, their counsel, share their experiences, their vision for the country. Some of which will result in appointments to his administration, and some who just wish to be helpful. Very excited to have new leadership in the country, and want to be part of that. A lot of common ground. I think that they both, hi Phil, they both understood the country very well. Tulsi Gabbard, Representative Gabbard, went against her party quite boldly early on. And I think that you're hearing people like Representative Tim Ryan of Ohio also raising concerns. Bernie Sanders today was quoted as saying that he thinks that they should stop with identity politics in the Democratic Party. Whoa, he can call, we'll tell him how to do that and win. So I think there's a recognition that there's a big country out there with lots of voters that feel disaffected from their party, the Democrats. No, there's no need to mend fences. It was an off-the-record meeting. It was very cordial, very productive, genial, but it was also very candid and very honest. I mean, from my own perspective, it's great to hit the reset button. It was a long, hard-fought campaign. Donald Trump proved that he animated America, he understood America, and now he will be president to all Americans. It could come this week, it could come today, but we're not in a rush to publish names just because everybody is looking for the next story, respectfully.
Welcome back. Time for your daily dose of health news. Jane King has today's Wellness Report.
Well, this week is all about turkey, but year-round Americans are making room on their plates for more fish and other seafood. We ate an average of 15.5 pounds of it in 2015, continuing a 3-year rise. That's according to a recent report from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It is still, though, about half what experts recommend. Well, reliance on food pantries can make healthy eating difficult. Two recent studies suggest that a substantial number of food bags did not meet minimum recommended amounts of dairy products or items containing vitamin A, C, zinc, and calcium. Food pantries are dependent on donations, and fresh produce is hard to transport and store. Well, wellness programs can be useful at work, but there are trade-offs. Experts at the Georgetown University Health Policy Institute say employees are giving up some aspect of their privacy and personal health information. The Kaiser Family Foundation says 35% of large firms pay an incentive for employees to undergo wellness programs. And where can you get the most nutritious fruits and vegetables at the grocery? Well, maybe not where you think. It's the frozen section. Nutritionists say the produce has the most nutrition when it's picked ripe, and then freezing it right after that preserves those nutrients. From the NASDAQ, I'm Jane King. Here's to your health.
How about a country dinner plate?
It's time to create your country dinner plate. Pick pork chop or rainbow trout, chicken, mac and cheese. Choose from all of these. I'll be on the wall. Feel free to try them all.
Country dinner plates at Cracker Barrel.
We experienced our first Northeast winter.
We were freezing.
So we went to Burlington. There's so many brands to choose from.
That looks good on you.
We found something for everybody. And the prices are great. This year, we're prepared. Yes!
The NFL returns to Mexico City tonight for Monday Night Football. It's the first time in several years that they're playing to our neighbors to the south.
The Raiders and Texans take the field tonight, but before the game, the cheerleaders took over the fan zone. Cheerleaders of the Oakland Raiders and Houston Texans in Mexico City practicing yoga with local fans. The cheerleaders, I love that they're all in makeup, practice their yoga poses along with local residents in the Mexican capital, iconic Angel of Independence Square.
Oh, it feels amazing. We're so happy to be able to represent the Texans organization and bring back the NFL after so long. 11 years of not having NFL here in Mexico, so it's great. The people are amazing. They're so welcoming, and I come from Mexican parents, so it feels right at home.
This is so funny.
Many later posed for pictures with fans.
Even the mascots got in on it. So the Raiderettes, doing yoga with the Houston Texan cheerleaders. There you go.
One of the guys that we just saw in that video is a local firefighter here in town.
Really?
He works for Cal Fire Slow, the
Cool.
one with the Raiders hat on. I just died when I saw him.
A lot of
there.
Raiders having a great year. A lot of they're expecting like 100,000 fans in Azteca Stadium, so it should be a lot of fun.
Wow.
Tonight, Monday Night Football. All right, Meredith, got a final look at the forecast for us?
Not as rainy as yesterday,
Good.
so that's a good thing. If you're trying to get things done outdoors this week, especially before Turkey Day, make sure you get it done in the next couple of days, but have that jacket handy and ready. Temperatures only getting into the 50s and 60s this afternoon. Overnight lows tonight, even colder than last night, so if you're getting up to go to work tomorrow morning, you try to get the run in before work, take the dog out, maybe go find that winter gear again that you use, the leggings, the scarves, even the gloves in some of our valleys, because we'll see those 30s back in the next couple of days. That's pretty cold.
Yeah, the overnight temps are really down there.
In the
Walk
valleys,
outside.
mid-30s.
When we head to work, it's really cold out.
Especially
this morning for sure. Yeah, exactly. All right, thanks so much, Meredith, and thanks for joining us.
CJ and Beth will be back here at 5 o'clock. We have breaking news anytime of day on our News Channel 3 mobile app and at KEYT.com. Have a great day, everybody.